Hello, and welcome to the episode of Todd Talks. And Todd Talks people listen because I am not peaceful and I do not surrender. Hopefully. I would hope I wouldn't surrender. I mean, what would I be surrendering to? Anyway, today we are going to be looking at the upcoming death battle, one that has been highly requested by literally everyone, including my very hair-raising hair. I actually called this one, I think, last prediction video or the overall season prediction video or the one before that. I can't remember. But it is Black Adam versus Apocalypse. Now, for those of you wondering, yes, this is meant to coincide with the movie. The movie was actually supposed to come out in July, but then it got delayed to October, which is next month, so it's still close enough. But yes, these are two beings that believe in survival of the fittest. They believe in protecting their people and elevating them to a higher state, and they're just dang powerful. So yeah, it works. All right, let's start off with Black Adam. Uh, Technically, and I gotta be clear here, there are two different versions of Black Adam. There's the New 52 version, and then there's the post-crisis version. Okay, more or less. In the Death Battle, they talk about the New 52 origin, which is awesome. I love the New 52 version. But remember, both timelines technically coalesce here because they're the same character, same powers, same gods, etc., etc. Speaking of which, I need to bring up the God page because I made sure to take a picture. Anyway, so in either one, this is about Teth Adam. Teth Adam in either Post Crisis or New 52 is a being of Kondak, which is in the Middle East close to Egypt. And in the New 52 version, his nation was taken over by uh, barbarians led by Ibak the First, who would eventually become a major Shazam villain, along with Sabak, who's going to be in the Black Adam movie. That's another story. Anyway, uh, after saving his nephew Amon from danger, he and Amon are taken to the Rock of Eternity, where they are presented to the Council of Eternity, headed up by the wizard Shazam, or his other name, which I can't say. I honestly don't remember it. But he's Shazam. We all know him as Shazam. Amon was deemed pure of heart and thus blessed with the power of the council to be the champion of the wizard. And Amon passed that on to Adam so that he could be healed because he was mortally wounded to try and save his nephew. They go back to the present to try and save Kondak, but they have different views on how to do it. One, Amon, is kind of like Billy Batson. He wants to do it through peace and understanding and just defeat the barbarians. And Black Adam wants to kill, or Teth wants to kill him. When Amon doesn't agree, he kills his nephew. He totally does. That was actually one of the best twists in the New 52 was that, he was so dedicated he was willing to kill his own family to do that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Black Adam's a lot. All right. So, with the power of the council within him, he was able to free Kondak and rule it with an iron fist, but a fair iron fist. Okay, when it comes to his people, Black Adam is a fair man, but he believes in swift justice. If you want a nice parallel to Marvel, it actually wouldn't be Apocalypse, it'd be Namor. Namor believes in swift justice and a stern and firm hand. So, and of course, Namor is dead now. Thanks, Aquaman. Anyway, uh, eventually, though, because of his antics and his desire to make sure that no one would harm his people ever again, Black Adam drew the ire of the Council of Eternity, and he went postal on them. He literally killed every single one except for the Wizard Shazam, who didn't kill Black Adam. He merely imprisoned him in a tomb for a very long time, like millennia. All right. Enter Dr. Sivana. Again, this is New 52. Enter Dr. Sivana, who unintentionally releases Black Adam into the modern world, where he's now free to do his thing, including refreeing Kondak, who had once again fallen under the effects of dictators. In the New 52 version, he had actually died after his first fight with Billy Batson because of the age to his body, but I'll get to that. And he was directed by Adriana, who I'll also get to, and then he went and free conduct. This was right before Forever Evil, which is a very important Black Adam story. So, in terms of powers, originally he was powered by the Wizard, but then technically speaking, in both the previous version and New 52, he's powered by 6 Egyptian gods. Sorry, I thought I had it up. Okay, here. The stamina of Shu, the speed of Horus, the strength of Amun, the wisdom of Zehudi, the power of Aten, and the courage of... Oh, come on, didn't I get that in the picture? Sorry. Was the courage of... I don't remember. So, it was in the picture before, okay? The picture cropped. But anyway, 6 Egyptian gods. In the post-crisis version, he was actually supposed to get the same gods as Billy, our Shazam. And there was a witch who decided to redirect it so that when he said the word, he actually drove the power on Egyptian gods. It's weird. But through these powers, he becomes an almost unstoppable juggernaut. Not the juggernaut, but a juggernaut of power. He has near limitless stamina. He has the strength to go up against some of the most powerful beings in all of DC Comics. He has the speed to match some of the best speedsters in all of comics, including Shazam and Superman and the Flash, among others, of course. He has magical powers, obviously. He is the living lightning bolt. We talked about this with Shazam, but he is powered by the living lightning bolt, which is a magical bolt of lightning, which can do an incredible amount of things, not the least of which is do things like, rejuvenate Flash, bring people back to life, hurt people like Wonder Woman, and so on and so forth. He has certain magical spells that he can use because of his millennia of experience. Because before he turned on the council, he ruled for a very long time in both Post Crisis and New 52. For example, in the New 52, we learned about how he fought the Frost King alongside Hippolyta, the Viking Prince, and the then Swamp Thing. And he didn't win that fight because of the overall Frost King's powers, but he was able to hold his own against a lot of things, including Hippolyta herself when he had to go back in the tomb. Hi, Hippolyta. Remember, I won Hippolyta and the Amazons versus Okoye and the Dora Milaje. That was another one of my predictions. All right, I know it's a niche thing, but I'm hopefully gonna make a song for it soon. Anyway, so Black Adam, in the New 52, he used a spell to get rid of the dictator who was ruling Karnak at the time. This is before Forever Evil, and he turned the man to stone. Like straight up, he turns the man to stone and just destroys the statue. It was awesome. And then when Forever Evil happened, he was one of the villains who rose up to try and stop the crime syndicate, even going and battling Superwoman and Ultraman multiple times. And yes, he did not win those fights because of certain circumstances, but he was more than able to hold his own. And this speaks to the most important factor, in my opinion, about Black Adam. In Death Battle, as we talked about multiple times, they remove any inhibitors that would prevent them from doing a killing blow, like with Batman, Barry, Aquaman. I'm trying to think of non-DC characters. Tanjiro, Tanjiro doesn't kill a human. There you go. Tanjiro would not kill a human. But in Death Battle, he had to because that was required. Obviously, he lost to Jonathan Joestar, and that's still my favorite of the season. But the option was there. All right. Black Adam doesn't need that. Black Adam has always been, I will kill you if I deem it necessary. That is literally what he does. He is Shazam without inhibitors. All right. Billy Batson is a good soul who will not kill unless absolutely necessary, and even then he would fight to not hurt anybody beyond what they're needed to, which is why he clashes with Adam all the time but never tries to kill him. Black Adam just doesn't care. In post-crisis, there was a situation that happened with his wife Adriana. Adriana is the love of Black Adam's life in both timelines, and her role was literally, in the comics, her role was not just to be his partner, but to be his focus, his guiding light, if you will. And it worked. Like, he became a benevolent ruler instead of just one who ruled with fear and intimidation, which he is more than capable of doing. And at one point, he even gave her he can share his powers with people, and he made her into Isis, another Egyptian god, and the Avatar. And then she and her brother Amon, not nephew, this was post-crisis still, they became the Black Adam family. And Black Adam's family. Uh, sorry, that was a great joke. I did not intend that, but that was a great joke. So they become the rulers of Kondak, essentially, the three of them. And Osiris accidentally brings in one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse to the nation in Sobek, a giant crocodile, who was actually an avatar for famine. Oops. And through that, Adriana dies. And Black Adam, at her dying words, goes postal. Oh, and but he already went postal when he killed the Council of Eternity in New 52. Oh, this is nothing compared to that. He only killed 7 people. He was about to kill a lot more. Her dying words were vengeance for Kondak, to take down everyone who threatened Kondak. And that included the literal personification of death via the horseman Death. Death, who was powered at one point by genocide caused by Black Adam. He was fueled by all that power, and Black Adam defeated him with his magic lightning. Because he could. Because Death does not take Black Adam. But that's not all. It was found out that it was the nation of Biala, I think it was, that started this whole train of destruction on Kondak. So you want to know what Black Adam did? In 36 hours, he burned Biala to the ground. To the ground! He literally went and wiped out 2 million plus people, all on his own, and then sterilized the ground so that nothing could build there. That's how powerful he is. That's how ruthless he is. If he gets something in his head. And then during that time, he was attacked by members of the Justice League, Justice Society, Doom Patrol, and the Teen Titans, and he beat them all. He was even partially powered at the time because of him giving his powers to other people, including at the time Isis and Billy Batson and Mary Bromfield. He still kept going. He kept going against Power Girl and Jay Garrick Flash and the Teen Titans and all of them. He kept going. That's just how good he was. Now, there are a few weaknesses to him. And I haven't even mentioned times like he's fought Superman, he's fought Wonder Woman, he's fought Justice League Council. He fought the Spectre and technically damaged him. Even Martian Manhunter, one of the most capable beings on the planet, felt that only the Spectre could beat Black Adam. And Black Adam hurt the Spectre. Alright? In terms of his weaknesses, though, there are 2. He can be hurt by certain kinds of lightning, but it has to be incredibly powerful ones. Like, he's been struck by lightning from Dr. Fate, Shazam, and even his own lightning redirected at him by Adriana, who was not in her right mind. And he was fine, but he can be hurt by certain kinds of lightning. He's not invincible. He can bleed. He was tortured once by Dr. Sivana for like an untold amount of weeks, and you could see him bleeding and being hurt and, stuff like that. Magic can hurt him. It's not unlike how lightning can hurt him. Yes, Black Adam isn't being a magic, but he is more than capable of being hurt by magic should it be potent enough. It has to be potent. But even still, with all of that, Black Adam has been labeled multiple times as the most powerful villain of the DC Comics universe by certain heroes. I mean, again, Martian Manhunter thought that only the Spectre could beat him. He's gone up against Superman. He's gone up against all of these heroes and beaten them. He's gone up against Captain Marvel, Shazam multiple times and has come out on top or done stalemates because they just can't reach an impasse always. So he's the guy you don't want to mess with. And he's now in the Justice League. He was in the Legion of Doom. He was the one who helped stop the crime syndicate. He has proven his worth more times than not with very few defeats. And then, I forgot the big one. Technically speaking, in most iterations, if you transform him via his magic lightning, he can return back to Teth Adam. And because of him being alive for millennia, he will die. most times. That has been rewritten, so I think that'll count in Death Battle. So he'll just transform into Death Atom, and that's all he'd have to do is say Shazam again. But yeah. All right. Next up, we have Apocalypse N. Savanor, who was born in Egypt a long time ago, 5,000 years ago, and he was immediately outcast by his tribe because of how he looked. He was taken in by a tribe of nomads called the what was it, the Storm Riders? Same. That doesn't matter. He was taken in by a tribe of nomads, and their leader saw his potential, and so they raised him. But even then, it wasn't enough. And this is where he learned his most important lesson. It's all about survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. And over the course of millennia, in Apocalypse, as he would soon call himself after defeating a pharaoh who was actually Kang, surprise, um, he went on a mission to try and create a world where literally only the strongest survive, or as he would learn, mutants, where mutants could survive, because he is a mutant. He is even called the first one, though obviously this has been redacted because there were mutants before Apocalypse ever existed, including apparently in the Shi'ar Empire. Who knew? That's a very recent comic. Um, his own mutant abilities were already incredibly powerful. He had incredible strength and speed, and he could augment his body to do literally whatever he wanted, as long as it was, physical. So he could, he can grow in size. He could shapeshift his body into weapons. He could mold himself into things like vehicles or whatever. He could use his incredible. He can harness all kinds of energy and then transfer that into things like strength and speed. He can use telekinesis to float or fly, and of course lift objects of various sizes, which he's very, very good at. He also has interacted with pretty much all the big players of the Marvel universe, including the Celestials, of which he got his Celestial armor, which is the basic armor we know Apocalypse with. And they even called him their greatest nemesis. And if you recall House of X, he actually teamed with some of the Celestials to create a portal to Otherworld, and by worked with, I mean he killed them all. He used the bones of Celestials to create a portal to Otherworld so that he could basically stop a war, which that's a long story. All right, X of Swords. It was all right. I don't think it was as good as people hyped it up to be, but it served its purpose. So, anyway, throughout the ages, through millennia of history, of Marvel history, he has gone and raised empires, ruled them with iron fist and blood, and he would try and find the most powerful to rule with him, meaning, of course, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They've had many, many iterations over the Marvel Universe, including some of them being from the X-Men themselves, like with Sunfire and Angel, who turned into Archangel, and of course, there was also the Age of the Apocalypse, which was an alternate story, but still considered canon-ish, depending on who you talk to. And it does exist. It was a multiverse thing, so it does exist. That there are things in there that do count as canon, including one of his deaths, which I will get to. So the problem with Apocalypse is that he's just so hard to beat. If you recall the X-Men cartoon, the legendary X-Men cartoon, he was so hard to beat that Cable had to go back in time and figure out a way to make sure his plan did not work so that the future could be fixed. It was never fixed. It's Cable's role to never have a fixed future. That's just not how it works for him. And also, he died. Thanks, Booster Gold. Because of how strong he is, because of his just incredible magnitude for power, he is able to go up against the Avengers, the X-Men, the Inhumans, the Celestials, and more, and just not go away. He is the personification of, you can kill me now, but I'll be back later. That is literally who Apocalypse is. All right. In fact, in one of his greater forms, he had this thing called the Death Seed, which he could use and put it in other people, and thus transfer his power to him. This was actually a gift from the Celestials in return for greater sufferings later. it's complicated, right? Like Apocalypse has a really complicated history, but overall, his major powers allow him to go up against the top tier X-Men, including Jean Grey. He can actually resist Jean Grey's mental powers, who when she is one of the greatest telepaths in the world, if not the universe. He can go up against combined attacks from some of the best superhero teams out there, and this was him at like some of his peak power. Okay, one of the things that is important to note here is that Apocalypse technically has multiple bodies. All right. His first body was well and truly immortal. It could not be harmed. And so obviously I don't think they're going to include that in the death battle, because if he can't be harmed, then, kind of game over, man, game over. So we're going to exclude that. Plus he has died multiple times, and thus that first body thing is no longer applicable. The celestial armor is still on board, because that's him at his peak. So he is incredibly hard to beat. In fact, in one of the futures, during Messiah War, Strife was able to beat him, and that was a Cable's dark clone. But then somehow Apocalypse reached peak power, and then all of a sudden Strife couldn't beat him. Okay, let's just roll with that. And yeah, he is able to exert strength. Like, I don't know. This is the one thing I don't like about wikis, is that they keep saying like, oh, he can lift over 100 tons. We know he can lift over 100 tons. Okay, we know he can lift over 100 tons. They say the same thing about Black Adam. Oh, he can run like Mach 500. Yeah, he can go faster than that. Anyway, if we're just focusing on his feats, though, he's got plenty. Like I said, he's taken on multiple super teams. In one of the classic Avengers arcs, the Unity team one, which was written by Jeff Lemire, I think it was. This combined team of Avengers and X-Men, there was a story in the past with a very young Thor. This was pre-Mjolnir Thor. And he fought Apocalypse because Apocalypse knew the future or whatever, and he knew that, if he killed Thor here, he would be okay in the future. And so after getting help from Kang, who was disguised as Loki, Apocalypse won round one, but then Thor came back with Jarnborn, remember the axe? Which put Apocalypse in a coma. But he still was able to fight a young Thor, and even said he was supposed to kill him, but Thor was drunk, and that allowed him to live. I just roll with it. He's fought multiple Thors, in this case, Odin's son and Jane Foster, Mighty Thor, in the present, and was fine. He has gone up against Cable and Strife and Bishop, and was fine. Gone up against Jean Grey and Cyclops in a mental battle, and was fine. In the Age of Apocalypse, he allegedly killed a Celestial. This was not proven, but it was said by Dark Beast. And obviously he was fine from that. And he is determined to make mutants the top race, which is why in House of X, when they invited all of the enemy mutants from the past, Magneto and Sinister and Legion and Apocalypse, into the fold, Apocalypse was happy. He was like, this is what I've always wanted. Mutants on top. He served on the Quiet Council, the leader group of the mutants. And he even did various things to try and make the X-Men like Rogue and Richter, he's a new mutant, and others more powerful via his own mastery of magic and energy. And in X of Swords, he played a vital role in the war that was to come with the true Clan Araco. And don't even get me started. That story's just way long. But basically, there was a world of mutants, like an actual like nation of mutants that had to be severed from the real world. It's Krakoa's twin, I guess. It's complicated. And Apocalypse willingly sacrificed himself in the overall way. He's not dead. He's just in Araco, and to be with his actual wife and children, who were the original Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Oops. Like I said, that X of Swords is something, but he is always there. He's always going to keep fighting to try and better mutant kind, because to him it is always going to be about survival of the fittest. If there is a weakness to him, it's just he's so dang arrogant. I mean, he thinks his plans will always work, and they never fully do. He'll get the small victories. He'll recreate Clan Araco and get his 4 horsemen. He'll change Angel into Archangel and so on and so forth. It'll only go so far, and he always gets defeated in the end, which you could say is a plot device, which is it's very true. But he is always going to keep pushing, because when it comes to the end, you're probably going to think about Apocalypse. Alright, so who wins in a fight between Black Adam and Apocalypse? Now, there is one thing I want to talk about immediately, and that's, if you recall the DBX that happened, which was a very good DBX, it was stated that as long as a drop of blood is left in Apocalypse, Apocalypse can live. That's only half true. Okay. Apocalypse has something called the techno-organic virus, okay? This is the thing that he gave to Cable, which restricts Cable's powers, if you recall the death battle with him. It doesn't hurt Apocalypse at all. In fact, it helps Apocalypse with his, transformations and everything. The virus is within his blood, okay? So if he was to be seriously injured or crippled or even killed, if they had a drop of blood, they could resurrect him. However, they need a body to put it in. All right, look at the panel, and Deadpool even says, "Hey, if I have a drop of blood full of, and you put in a vat of organs and such, we can resurrect him." Okay, it's not this isn't a Lobo situation where a drop of blood just springs out a bunch of Apocalypse clones. If that was the case, that would have been noted all over the canon. This is a very specific circumstance. If you have a vial of his blood, even just a drop, and you put it in a vat of blood and organs, the techno-organic virus can literally rewrite the genetic code of whoever and turn it into Apocalypse. Like I said, he is the king of, you will kill me now, but I'll be back later because I'm going to be in someone else. It's almost like a Brainiac kind of thing. So he cannot regenerate just from a drop of blood. It's a drop of blood plus other things. Just got to make that clear. All right, so who wins? It actually is closer than I thought it was. I had an inkling originally about who I thought would win, and then I was reading into this. I'm like, they're actually really close. We got very interesting and unique backstories that tie them together in various ways. They both believe in survival of the fittest. They both believe in swift justice for their people, and they're incredibly powerful. The difference, though, is that while one is one of the most powerful mutants around, one is powered by gods. And you can say, oh, but Apocalypse has fought gods. He has. But it's a little bit different. I know that some people are going to be mad about this, and that's not my problem, because this is how Death Battle works. You have to scale him to other characters that he has fought before, and beaten before, and matched before, and not the least of which is Shazam. In the Shazam Death Battle with Captain Marvel, they noted how Shazam's punches could create a black hole. Apocalypse can't do that. It was noted in Kingdom Come that Shazam raced Flash around the world so fast that even Superman couldn't keep up with them. Superman! And Black Adam and Shazam are the same. They have different gods powering them, but they're still powered by gods. All right, and they're equal to, if any lesser pantheon powered Black Adam, he would not be a stalemate against Shazam and Superman and Ultraman and Wonder Woman so many gosh dang times. All right, and the times that he does face a Superman-like character and lose, it's a plot device. Like when Ultraman shattered his jaw because he tried to use his magical lightning on him. Because remember, in our world, Superman has no resistance to magical attacks. Ultraman did, but Black Adam didn't know that, and so he got his jaw crushed. He was fine. He healed a few hours later thanks to Sinestro putting a brace on his jaw. I remember he, in a weakened state, he took on some of the most powerful heroes. In one panel, it's noted that his power is divided by 3, and he was able to take a I-beam or a heat vision blast from Power Girl, who in the comic panel it is noted that she had never gone that full tilt before. she went absolutely berserk because of what happened with Adriana. Again, he at that point in time, Adriana was revived and not in her right mind. Um, Power Girl was ticked at Black Adam, and she blasted him with heat vision. And the only thing that singed was his hair and his costume, and he thunderclapped her away. Um, he has blocked punches and hurt Superman. His lightning hurt Wonder Woman. He kept up with one of the versions of the Flash and Jake Garrick, and again he would scale to Shazam and him being as fast as Flash and beyond. Um, you could say like, well, wait a minute, couldn't Apocalypse use his lightning against him? In theory, yes, but that would also require him to figure that out, which is not a given. Apocalypse could absorb his magic or his magic lightning, but that's a little inconsistent in terms of how it is said he has energy absorption, but we've seen him get hit by energy attacks in the past. And then going back to Age of Apocalypse, Apocalypse dies because of Magneto. Magneto, who is Omega level mutant, but hardly the most powerful mutant ever. He even says that he's focusing his attacks and literally blasts him apart. And then another time, he actually uses his electrical impulses against him and short circuits his mind. All right. So, and Black Adam has magical lightning, which could easily do that. And so they both have a lot of. And just going back to the speed feat, Apocalypse can match up to Quicksilver, who is one of the faster beings in Marvel Universe by certain metrics. And he can keep up with, he can match power with Thor, plural, and even the Savage Hulk, who when he was enraged. But Black Adam can go up against Superman and Wonder Woman and Shazam. He hurt the Spectre, who is God's divine wrath, and he was fine. He got transformed, but Spectre didn't kill him. So when it comes to overall power output and speed output, he may not have the variety of attacks that Apocalypse has, but he has enough. Plus, he has his own magic that he could use against Apocalypse, like turning a person to stone. He can do that. So can Apocalypse, but Black Adam has resisted magical attacks from beings like Dr. Fate and more. And if it was just that, and remember, the wizard could not kill him. The wizard just imprisoned him. Why would he do that if he could just have killed him with magic? So, with that, I am picking Black Adam to win this death battle. Who do you think is gonna win in the upcoming fight? Let me know in the comments below. So, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.